I believe that there are incredible technologies, enormous possibilities, magical power, and new ways of doing things that we will not be allowed to have until we are coming from caring and sharing and love and cooperation and unity. Because if we receive powerful means of doing things and we are still dividing and fighting and hassling with each other, we'll just do more of what we've done, which is a very destructive kind of thing. So we're being asked to find our hearts first, and I believe that is the charge of this past age, is to find our hearts, to walk the path with heart. Now, I want to go back a bit into an interesting time in the Americas. Around the 1600s to the 1800s, when the Europeans and others were coming in and challenging the native people, there was really a genocide happening. Very difficult times. The game was being killed, everything was crashing. And the people began to have visions and images of a new world, a new possibility. Those dreams came to many different people over time, prophets among native people. And they came to the Pope in the native New Mexico. He suggested that the people gather together, unify, dance, and care for each other, and that it would change the world in positive ways. And this went all the way through the time when Wovoka and the ghost dance, the spirit dance, came. And the message always was, if you come back into unity, if you let go of the ways of artificial life, come back to the simple ways of life, love and care for each other, dance together, pray together, image and vision this new time that's possible to come, then you can call that in through your dancing, through your coming together. So the idea was to unify and to dance together and to do any kind of ritual and ceremony that allowed us to come together in oneness and wholeness. So that dance, that coming together, is what we're being invited to do. White Buffalo Woman says, whatever you do to any other one in the circle of life, any other being, any other thing, whatever you do, that you do to yourself, because we are one being. And as we understand that, we can begin to understand what she experiences and expresses as a holy walk, to walk in a holy way, a holy manner. And that is to walk with our attention, our focused attention, being on the whole circle of life, not just on ourselves or a small portion of the world or a small portion of time, but on the whole circle, the whole of life, to walk forward in holiness, taking care of everything in the circle of life, really extending our attention and awareness. And we may dance later, and I'll give you a demonstration of that as we dance and share at that level. So one of the things that's happening that we see is that we have come into a time when there are many, many challenges that we've created for ourselves. They're ecological and social challenges. They're challenges of not taking care of the earth. We could go on and on. It's not so hard to look around and see how we have damaged and challenged our earth. I heard recently scientists are saying that we are killing the oceans. And Jacques Cousteau 20 years ago told us that if we didn't change our ways, we would do that. And so we're challenging life, we're damaging life at so many levels. And part of what we don't take into account is that life is us. When we cut down the trees, it's not just cutting down someone over there. We are cutting down the ability of fresh air, nourishment, breath, inspiration to come to us. So when we damage the world around us, we're damaging our own life, our very own life, and the life of our children. One of the things that we're learning that I feel like is a very powerful learning that we're receiving right now is that we create our own reality. Individually and as a community, we create our own reality. And what that means to me is what we vibrate, we create. And so what we're being asked to do in this time, I believe, even though there may be great cleansings coming, great challenges, many things that may really test us because we're having to let go of a lot of what doesn't work. For instance, we're coming really close to the end of the amount of gas, petroleum we have in this world. And it's an excellent kind of energy. It could have lasted for a millennium. And we blew it out in our, in our Hummers and our 4x4s and our big trucks. So when that ends, there will be great, great changes that happen, and there'll be challenging ones. So I believe that we are facing a very challenging time in many ways. There's clearing, cleansing, shifting, changing the way we do things, and we're way behind. If we had gone at the time of Jimmy Carter and some others who started to help us change our ways, shift over, we might have been in a much better place. So I do believe we have challenging times ahead in many different ways. And what we focus on, what we dream, what we imagine, what we dance together, those things are what will come into our reality. I had an interesting dream one time. And in the dream, there are some, just like we are, we're out in a field and we're doing something and we're around and it's all nice. And then all of a sudden there's this strange energy. And we look up and what's coming down, obscuring most of the sky by the time we even see it, is an enormous planet, asteroid, whatever it might be. And it's like, too late, it's done. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And what we instinctively do that is so powerful is that we run together, we get a hold of each other's hands, and we start singing joyfully and dancing and celebrating. And the dream shifts and we're still dancing and celebrating. So for me, that was a very powerful statement of what we need to do in this time. The challenge we will have is that when things get a bit bad, if we get panicky, separate from each other, divide, get greedy, freak out, we will lose it. It's going to be a major test for us to say, can we come together? Can we say, who needs money? This stuff doesn't have any backing anyway. Let's just share. Let's trade. You do something, I'll give you this. That whole system of barter has always worked.